Steve, this new script says you have to punch me directly in the face?
Yeah, is that not okay?
I don't like it.
You're tough. You can take it.
I do not like it.
All right, buddy. In all seriousness, though, what do you want to film today?
I'm glad you asked, because I've been having this down here for months.
Huh?
BAM! Buddy, we're going to play a wrestling game for this championship right here. No Mercy. WrestleMania. WWE Arcade 2K. Let's do this.
Jesse, I've told you so many times, I'm not any good at wrestling games. Honestly, I'm like really, really bad.
Oh.
You know, Steve, any man with two hands has a fighting chance.
James Ellsworth?
You know, there was a time where I thought I couldn't win either. But then I beat AJ Styles. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. So you can do it too, Steve.
You know what, Jesse? I've changed my mind. Let's do this.
That was weird.
Yeah, that might work. Oh boy. Look at how big Strowman is. Oh my God, like a sledgehammer to the heart. Oh, tips on! Oh, AJ, get him! No gin music! Go!
Okay, guys, we are back, and we are here with a very special guest.
One near and dear to my heart.
From the WWE, it is Mr. James Ellsworth. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm good. What's up, Steve and Jesse? How are you guys?
I am doing especially well right now. Like I said, try not to blush. So, real quick, me and Steve want to pitch you this movie idea. It would be an underdog story about a guy who gets an opportunity to have one match in this big wrestling promotion and ends up winning over the crowd and gets a WWE contract. You think you could play that character?
It's gotta be a documentary on the WWE Network or something, right?
Something like that, yeah. So, I just, so I guess the first question I would want to ask is what made you get interested in pro wrestling?
Man, I don't remember not being interested in wrestling. Like, I've just loved it my whole life ever since I saw it on TV as a very young child, and I can't remember not liking it. I've always just liked it, loved it, and always wanted to do it.
So it reminds me, but like I said, I grew up watching it with my grandmother. So do you remember who your favorite was growing up?
Oh, yeah, when I was very young, like talking probably 4 or 5 years old, I liked Ricky Morton and the Ultimate Warrior. So I'd watch both NWA and WWF. And the Ultimate Warrior was my favorite on WWF, and then Ricky Morton was my favorite on NWA. Those were the first 2 wrestlers I remember seeing. And then as I got a little older, I got real into Shawn Michaels. So it'd be those 3 that really inspired me when I was very young.
I'd say all excellent choices. So I guess my next question would be then, I mean, you had those legends. Now you kind of are legendary for your Cinderella story. I mean, everybody knows your story. We still do your famous catchphrase in my house, any man with 2 hands. How's that feel with that kind of responsibility on you now?
Well, it's weird, man. Like, we live in a very strange era, like, that I don't understand. I like, every time I wake up and I read the internet or go around outside, I'm like, is this real? Is, like, this is how the world is now? Like, not just of the pandemic, it's how people are so different than, when I'll be 36 in 3 months. 3 months from today, actually. And it's just, I don't know. So, like, I try to be nice to everybody. Like, I'm very friendly with you guys right now. And then if I see people, like, if I go to Target or Walmart or wherever, and it's really cool. Like, you bring up the catchphrase, people come up and they'll quote that to me all the time. And I'm like, man, that's so cool. People remember that. And I just try to be grateful, man, and be very nice to everybody and treat people with respect. And for the most part, fans are very nice and very cool. And then some, like, it's weird, they'll try to take advantage of you and stuff like that. But for the most part, everybody is very, very, grateful for the entertainment that I was very happy and blessed to provide.
You see awesome. What do you call that, twinkle in their eye when somebody recognizes you? You know right away that they recognize you, kind of thing?
Yeah, I can, like, I always tell people I can smell a wrestling fan from a mile away. I can tell when somebody's, like, nervous to say something to me, and I'll just go up to them and be like, it's cool, man. I know you can, who I am, and it's fine. It's no big deal. And they'd start laughing. I'm like, yeah, see. And, we're all human, man. We're all going to do the job at the end of the day. We all might as well be nice to each other,
That's good words.
I like that. Yeah. I like that.
So I'm sure you went over the story a couple times before our audience. We're just curious. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you were supposed to do just a one-off appearance, and then you ended up getting a contract. How did that work out?
Well, I mean, it's cool that I won over the audience, but believe it or not, man, like that's not the reason why I got a job. I got a job because I won over Vince McMahon that night. Like I cut the promo and said the line, and that really intrigued him. And then he just started paying attention to me, and he told me that night that he was going to hire me. And I was like, I thought he was kidding. I thought, man, why is he ribbing me? Why is he joking around? But 6 weeks later, he hired me, and I was off to the races.
So
what an awesome story.
It is a really good story. So tell me about, because I've seen plenty of matches where, somebody comes out, local talent, and they get squashed or, run over. What was that different that you got an opportunity to actually speak on the mic that night?
Well, they were, Braun Strowman, they took him away from the Wyatts, and he hadn't been on TV for a while. They were repackaging him by himself. So his angle was, you're going to, squash enhancement talent for a while, and basically they're going to get to say their last words before you kill them. That was the whole, and nobody, and not a lot of people remember. So probably like 8 weeks in a row after my squash, he squashed other people, and they got to talk on the mic too. But nobody even remembers that until I mention it. Like that there was other local guys that got the same opportunity, and I don't know, just for whatever reason, like I said, Vince just saw something in me. And dude, like Vince is as crazy and wacky as he is, he really he's not the Walt Disney of wrestling for nothing. He saw me. I'm 5'8", I'm 170 pounds. I don't look like I belong on GQ magazine whatsoever. I didn't go through NXT. I didn't go through the Performance Center. I don't have a long family tree of wrestlers that came before me that are in my family. I had everything against me, and he just saw me. He's like, man, I'm gonna give you a couple years here. You're gonna travel the world. You're gonna do a pay-per-view. You're gonna do all this cool stuff. He's like, just enjoy it, and it might not last 10 years, but you'll get a really good couple of years out of it. He's like, and I'll bring you back every now and then. Like he told me right away, like what he saw, for me. And yeah, man, the enhancement talent thing's a funny story because, man, I've been wrestling 14 years before I got to WWE. And, man, I'd be on the indies and I'd see guys go to WWE and do get squashed or get beat up real quick. And they would come back to indie shows like they were WWE superstars now. They'd be like, yeah, man, you see me on Raw, you see me on SmackDown. I always thought in my head, man, anybody can do that. They put you on TV because you don't look like a superstar. So next to their superstar is what makes them the superstar because they look, great. They're all in shape and they're tall and they're good looking, and you're just a guy from off the street basically that makes them look so. And I never understood why people got an ego doing that and didn't get signed, and they'd be back on the indies like, yeah, you see that I was on Raw or SmackDown. I'm like, man, I thought to myself, I'm just going to do it one time just to show them, like, look, I did it. Anybody can do it. It's no big deal. And then my time turned into a 2-year contract and all this kind of crazy stuff,
And wow. Quite an adventure, yeah. So to piggyback off of what you said, so basically Braun Strowman owes you his career?
Well, I don't know, man, I always have a big place in my heart for Strowman. It's funny, anytime but I see each other. I saw him earlier this year at an autograph signing, and we just always smile and give each other a big hug. I feel like we did a lot for each other in that one match, and if I see him at a bar, I'll just buy him a shot and all that because he's had a good run there. He was just recently Universal Champion. Yep. I feel like he could be doing more. Like, would a guy like that size get beat as much as he's already been beat? To me, just my humble opinion, it takes away from him. And, he's already been beat a lot, it seems like, to me. And I'm like, man, he really probably shouldn't have ever been beat yet, and he's been beat several times. So, but yeah, I'm very happy for his success and hope he continues to, evolve the character and do bigger and better things.
It's good. Piggyback off of that because I really want to go back to that question. Your first match in the WWE was against Braun Strowman, which is pretty intense. How was that experience? I mean, he did toss you around the ring. You did get a good lick in the beginning, though. That was a nice forearm shot.
I got 2 punches in on him, and that's why I thought in my head I'm going to say enemy on 2 hands is a fighting chance, because I knew I was going to punch him twice. So that was the only thing. The rest of the stuff in that promo was written by a writer in WWE, which is Jimmy Jacobs, who writes for Impact now. And the only line that wasn't written was the line that I got famous for. Like, which, it's so cool that when it's yours, when it's something you made up, and it works to that extent, it's very cool, man. Like that, I'm very happy I, for whatever reason, thought to say that. And but it was an intense match. Everything he did hurt, because dude, when you're on TV, the cameras are right up on you, so they gotta lay it in.
Oh yeah.
Anytime you watch a match on Raw or SmackDown, they're laying it in, and it's because the camera's right up on them. So I remember when he clubbed me in the chest, and it looks like I take this really pretty back bump. It wasn't a back bump. That was just me falling down. It hit me so hard, man. And it was, dude, I'll never, I can, every time I relive that match in my mind, I can remember every little thing about it. And I can't do that with any other match I've ever had. So, but that particular, I know, I can go back to me walking down the ramp, getting in the ring, looking at JoJo, the ring announcer, seeing the referee, you seeing Brian Saxton get in the ring and talking on the mic and seeing him get to the ring. I can relive it all in my head just piece by piece. It's really, I guess it's the most important, moment of my professional life. So I remember it so well.
So it was awesome watching as a fan. I can just imagine experiencing the whole thing. But I know I'm getting goosebumps just listening to the story. So
right. Cool, man. It was very cool.
While we're on the subject of important nights, one of my favorite, and I just had to bring it up. It was a Monday Night Raw. It was Team SmackDown versus Team Raw. You're on the apron, and Chris Jericho sees you in his line of sight, and he cuts a promo on you. And then the entire crowd just starts chanting your name. How's that feel? That's got to be a crazy moment for you.
Well, it's really crazy. For me, I'm out there, and Roman Reigns is out there, and Randy Orton, and Daniel Bryan as the commissioner back then, and all these big, Chris Jericho being the biggest star probably of them all, and AJ Styles out there, Kevin Owens, whoever, Bray Wyatt, and you're all these guys are out here, all these big stars, and they're chanting my name. I'm this ain't, I know it's not supposed to happen, and dude, I know how WWE works. I'm man, I better enjoy this while I can, because they're going to make sure this doesn't happen longer than a couple months, that I'm this popular, because I'm not the person they had time and money invested in. I just kind of happened out of nowhere. So I know the business part of it. So yeah, when something like that happens, you just enjoy it, and you can't really enjoy it until you're in the car ride to the hotel by yourself, and you kind of rethink, because after it's over, you go to the back and you can't start high-fiving yourself in front of everybody. So those car rides to the hotels, I had a lot of good ones where I was wow, did I really just do that? That really just happened? Those are the moments where you can kind of take it all in.
Yeah, appreciate it. That was one of my favorite moments with you, because your facial expressions were just brilliant. And, Chris Jericho was just fun, I'm sure, to work with against in general.
Oh, yeah, he...
No, we lost your video there. Oh, you're back.
Oh, you're good. It's 20%. But, yeah, he's to this day, Chris Jericho is the best friend that I got out of WWE. And we still text. He's very busy with his band and his wrestling and his kids and all. And but anytime I text him, he texts me right back. So I keep in touch with him, and right away he had my back, man. He called me that night after the Strowman match and told me that he felt like I was going to be a star, that I did a great job. And he got my phone number from one of the referees there, and then he wrote in his book about me, a whole chapter in one of his books. It's called the Ellsworth Chronicles. And
nice.
He had me on a podcast twice. He had me on his cruise, and I owe the guy a lot. I don't know how I could ever repay. You can't repay somebody that has everything anyway. So I don't other than I know he knows I'm very grateful for his friendship and just him in general.
That's a great answer. So I'm going to go a little sore subject here. I had to say it. So it was the first ever women's Money in the Bank. crowd's going insane, and then somebody, not going to mention anybody's names, climbs the ladder and grabs the briefcase. And I will say, my wife is still mad at you, by the way, about this.
It's not a sore subject at all. I feel like that's the moment that everyone's going to remember to now to the end of time. I thought it was a fantastic idea. It was Vince McMahon himself's idea. And if you watch it back, man, when I'm climbing the ladder, the crowd's going nuts, like cheering me on. Like, and then once I grabbed it and gave it to her, they started booing, which is good. That was the heat. I think in their heads, they wanted me to grab it and take off with it. Like, and they were like, what the hell is he thinking? Which would have been good heat on me, but we needed heat on Carmella. That was the whole point. We needed heat on Carmella. And me doing that for her, it did a lot for her career. And she's awesome. And I think they're starting a new gimmick with her now on SmackDown. And I'm very proud of how I helped Carmella out a lot, get her career going there in WWE.
So, I mean, it was an awesome moment. So, did you prefer face or heel working? I mean, did you like the cheers? Did you like the booing? What was easier for you to work?
I like both, man. I can do whatever they need me to do. I feel like I always understood the entertainment part and the charismatic part of wrestling, what you need to do to get to make the crowd make noise as a babyface or as a heel. I love being a babyface. I think it was too short-lived. I really think they could have went another while with it. And I think when I was with Carmella at first, they were like, well, Carmella's going to be a heel and James, and like she's leading James on and she's using James, and one day James will figure it out and be a babyface again. But I think they were like, okay, this is kind of okay. She's a heel and he's a babyface, and they're together, and we're not getting anything out of it, so we'll make him a heel too, and full heel, full-fledged heel. Because like even at the Royal Rumble 2017, I got a big reaction. Like 54,000 people at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, and I came out and got a big reaction. I think Vince was like, "Oh, that's cool, but we're supposed to be getting heat on her, so how do we do it? We make him a full-fledged, heel, and then we'll get heat on her." And that's what he wanted, man. Because again, Carmella went through the Performance Center and she went through NXT. They had time and money invested in her. So it's a business, man. When you have time and money invested, somebody doesn't matter if this guy comes out of nowhere is one of your most popular things. So you want the person you invested all this time and money in to succeed. So that was my job, was to help her succeed.
Awesome. So what's the most WWE thing happened to you while you were in the WWE? You have any funny stories that happened backstage or anything just unexpected?
Well, backstage, man, I have so many. Like it's weird. It's 2020. You don't even know what you can say anymore. I hate it so much. Like you really don't know. Like people are so goofy and so I don't. But so I'm trying to think of a story I can tell that is okay. It's just to say without making somebody mad. Which you can't say anything to make everybody happy. But I don't know. We I like Bray Wyatt. I'll tell you something funny about Bray Wyatt. Like his character is very good on TV, and he's so good at everything he does. But in person, he's just a happy-go-lucky country boy. So man, everybody's eating right and eating healthy because they're all jacked up and look good. And Bray's like, I remember when the first time Bray invited me out with him. He goes, man, he's like, you ain't all that eating right and all this, are you? I said, no. I was like, it'd probably kill my gimmick. And he laughed. He said, yeah, man, let's go get some chicken wings. And I just went out and hung out with him. Get some chicken. Because he's not in terrible shape, but he's little.
He's got a little beef to himself.
Little size on him, And so we went out. I remember just hanging with him. It was in Canada somewhere, and I was like, where are we gonna find chicken wings up here? I don't know. He took me to some place, couldn't tell you the name of it, and we just. Man, it was, and then I don't know. He was another guy up until I dressed with the other extras, even when I was under contract, until I was like, I'm not going to dress in the WWE locker room until somebody invites me. So he was the one that invited me, Bray Wyatt. I was walking in the arena one day and I was going towards the extras locker room, and he grabbed me as no. He's like, you have a contract here. He's like, you're with us now. Just gave me a hug, and I walked in there with him, and everybody saw I was with him, so everybody was cool. And you don't know, like, I'm old school, man. I've been wrestling since 2002. To me, you got to earn the respect. Even I've been wrestling 14 years up to that point. I was new there. You push the reset button and you start over. You know.
True. What a story. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Marking out. My apologies. It's good times. So I think last couple questions I want to put them together. First off, what do you think of the landscape of WWE storytelling now? Do you have an opinion? It seems like you're still keeping up on it.
Oh yeah, I keep up on it, man. Like I wish they would stick to the stories a lot more. A lot of the stories, like the ones they stick to, are so good. Like Bayley and Sasha. That's been an ongoing story for so long, and it's about to culminate at probably a big pay-per-view. My guess would be Survivor Series because it's only 2 months away, and it seems like, and that's awesome. Like, I hate when they do a storyline and then they get away from it. Like they did that hacker storyline. Who's the hacker? Now it's done. It's just like we don't know. We never are going to find out who the hacker is. And we're like, well, so I don't like when they do that. One thing I hate more than anything, again, my opinion, like when the U.S. champion or Intercontinental champion or tag champions lose non-title matches, and I get why in their heads, well, they lose a non-title match, so whoever they lost to is now the number one contender. But when I was a kid, man, I don't remember Demolition losing any non-title matches. You know what I mean? Like, and it made them. What I mean is, so when somebody finally beats them for the titles, it means more because they hadn't been beaten in so long. They're champions,
right?
Like when they just get better, like especially like somebody's a U.S. champion, like, and probably nobody's ever going to remember that Ricochet was the U.S. champion, right? Because when he was U.S. champion, he was getting beat every week. I'm like, geez, like this guy going to get over being the U.S. champion, like getting beat every week. So that's just my humble opinion. Like I wouldn't do that, and like it's got to make sense, man. I think if the show makes sense, the whole show, or at least most of the show, the fans follow it a lot easier and enjoy following it a lot more because everything's flowing and making sense. Like it's just a lot of it don't anymore. And it's I hope they get back to it. They're trying. Like I love Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman together. That's really cool. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I just wish they would. To answer your question, I wish they would stick to all the stories more, not just ones here and there. Because the ones here and there are the ones that people are enjoying,
Right. So we mentioned earlier, we were talking off camera, and we were talking about your involvement with the special needs program. Can you explain a little bit why that's so important to you?
Well, before WWE, I worked with people with special needs for 8 years, a place called Opportunity Builders Incorporated here in Maryland. And, man, like, a lot of us, a lot of people, again, I shake my head at people in 2020. We don't know how fortunate and lucky we are. Like, like guys like you guys or me, we can see, we can talk, we can feel, we can walk, we can, like, we have all of our abilities. And there's people out there that, they're not as fortunate as us. And, and so working with people with special needs, I'm talking people that can't walk, blind people that can't hear, that are deaf. Like, it meant a lot to me because and a lot of them are so just like enjoying their lives still. They adjusted. Whatever God gave them, whatever ability they do have, they use it to the fullest extent. And the majority of them are very happy people. So when I was in WWE, anytime we had special needs people back there, special needs kids or whatever, I make sure it didn't matter what I needed to do or whatever. I'd make sure I could talk to them. I have a friend, David, you can find on my social media. David, he's in a wheelchair, been in a wheelchair his whole life. He was at my job, and you can look on my Twitter, it's my pinned tweet. So when I worked at that job before WWE, he's a big wrestling fan, big Ravens fan like me. So we were just like friends. Like I worked there, and he was one of the guys I helped take care of, and we just became friends. And he's a super wrestling fan, like knows everything. He's like a smart Mark. He just knows everything, and he's into everything. So I remember he always would tell me, "Oh man, you'll make it to WWE one day." And I'm just thinking, I'm the only wrestler this guy knows, an independent wrestler. He just thinks it's easy to make it to WWE. And then when I remember telling him, well, if I ever make it to WWE, I'll get you backstage and have you meet everybody. And then when I made it to WWE, like one day I was like again, I think a lot in the car. I was like, man, I gotta get David backstage. I was like, so I remember calling his mom, and I said, look, we're coming to DC. DC's 45 minutes from Baltimore for SmackDown. I said, I can get him backstage. I can get his brother to bring him. I'll get them both backstage passes. I said, it's actually the day that they're filming Tribute to the Troops, so both Raw and SmackDown Superstars will be here. And I was like, his favorite Sasha Banks. He's all in love with Sasha Banks. I said, so I think she's going to be here. I'll make sure he meets her. So if you go to my @Real Ellsworth on my Twitter and look at pinned tweet, you'll see the video of me taking him backstage and meeting everybody. And he got to meet Sasha. I mean, he met the Bellas. He met Kevin Owens, Mark Henry, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles. Like, I don't know, that was really cool, man, that I got to do that for somebody. You know, that's really cool.
That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to chime in here real quick. So our YouTube channel is very big into donating money to worthy causes. So we thought it would be cool to do a real quick trivia game where we ask you 3 questions, and for every one that you get right, we're going to donate $25 to the charity of your choice. Okay, so here's the first question.
I'm putting my championship on for you, James.
There you go.
All right,
so here's the first question. This one is right in your wheelhouse. So which championship has John Cena never held? So it's either the Intercontinental Championship, the United States Championship, the Tag Team Championship, or the World Heavyweight Championship?
Intercontinental Championship.
Correct. All right, second one. Now we're going to make it a little bit harder. This one is a Star Wars themed question because we do a lot of pop culture here. So we got to.
I watched 15 minutes of the first ever Star Wars.
Well, this question is from the first Star Wars, and you have a 25% chance. So here we go. All right. So how many languages of communication is C-3PO fluent in? Is it over 600, over 6,000, over 6 million, or over 10 million?
Over 6 million?
Yes.
All right.
Worth the $50. All right.
And just the way you said it, I can kind of read.
You can't reveal why you knew it. You just gotta be like, oh man, I'm just messing with you. I knew the answer.
That's all good. So
all right.
$50 that we're up to. That's good.
Number 3. Here we go. The final one. Ready? Please get this one. All right. It's a Marvel question. Okay. So Thanos, the big bad of the MCU. What device is it that allows him to harness the power of the Infinity Stones?
The what?
The Infinity
I'm sorry,
Stones.
I don't speak nerd. I'm just kidding.
It's a glove. And does that help you at all?
Yeah, I know the glove because I've seen the toy glove at the store, and I picked it up and I was punching my friend with it.
Okay. So a big metal glove is also known as a. Starts with a G.
Gadget? I don't know.
that was close enough.
Close enough. The answer is Infinity Gauntlet.
But you were close enough. We'll give it to you.
That's quite all right.
I thought we were gonna do wrestling trivia.
You know what? Well, hey, we are gamers here, so we got to keep it. You got to keep it authentic.
Talking in wrestling trivia before, and he actually beat me. He knows everything.
But I will tell you what, you are such a good sport that we're going to go ahead and donate the full $75. So we'll get the information from you after the video chat's over. But that is super awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. And I would be remiss to not at least get 1 or 2 quick lightning question rounds in about gaming. So are you a gamer? And if you are, what kind of games do you like?
So I would, it's crazy. I would love to be a gamer, but dude, I have 2 daughters and a fiance to live with me. It's all feminine in my house. And so by the time, like right now, my kids are finally asleep, I'm like worn out. I wish I could. I got an Xbox and a PS4. I wish I would play a game. I got it. I don't know if you guys ever watch GTS Grimm's Toy Show. I'm going to film that in the morning.
Oh, that's awesome.
On YouTube. You guys know who Grimm is?
Yeah, I've seen some of their stuff.
Yeah, it's just a whack. It's like wrestling parody. It's so funny. But,
that's awesome.
I'm going to do it that morning. But dude, like I wish 10%. But I wish I would get more into the game and I get a Twitch page going and all that.
That'd be awesome. People would watch, man.
Yep.
All right, so last 2 quick questions for you. There's lots of videos on YouTube of people creating you as a character in WWE 2K. Have you ever watched any of them, and what do you think of it?
Oh man, yeah, I've seen a bunch of them. It's pretty cool, man. It's weird. Like I was supposed to be in the game 3 years in a row. Now 2000. think it's the 2019 game. I'm the Ribby character. That's me. Like, so I am in the game in some capacity. But yeah, I remember 2016, 17, and 18. I was like the #1 created guy, and to me that's cooler than actually being in the game.
That is awesome. That is really cool.
And yeah, so I appreciate all the love and support from fans. Like, you have your haters, but I really honestly pay no mind to them. I am all about the positivity of fans and the ones that are actually follow you and followed your career. So stuff like that, dude. I do see it, and I think it's very cool.
Awesome. So Mattel, as I'm sure you're aware, made an action figure out of you. So what was it like seeing yourself as a toy in the store, and how many did you buy? Because I know if there was a toy of me, I would probably buy the entire display.
I still have my basement.
So I bought a lot of them because I resell them at indie shows autographed. But my favorite part was walking up to the register, and they made 2 of me. I have a Elite, and I have a Battle Pack with Carmella and I.
Right.
So I have 2. So I'd love going to the register. Like, man, doesn't this toy look a lot like me? Like, if they didn't know me or whatever. And they're like, that does look like you. And then they turn over the other side of the box and see me, and they're like, this is you. Yeah, and like, for them, they're just working the register at Target or Walmart. And like, there's this guy in front of me that has his own action figure, and he's buying it from me. That used to always. And then I would do, if you guys probably seen it on my Instagram or something, I would do a video where I would sign the figure and leave it there and go, hey, I'm at a Walmart in Colorado. Guys, come and give the address to Walmart. I just signed my action figure. Come get it.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's really
what a good idea.
A little scavenger hunt going on.
All right, so last one. Gaming seems to be really popular with a lot of WWE superstars. Obviously, the one that comes to mind is Xavier Woods. He's probably the most popular with Up, Up, Down, Down. Is there a lot of gaming going on behind the scenes, backstage?
Oh, yeah, man. And again, I wanted to get into playing games with everybody. I played a game or 2 with AJ or Baron Corbin. It's very popular back there. But, I was always so focused on what I had to do on the show. I never played as much as I wanted to. But, Rich Swan and I are good friends. He's from Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore. So we played against each other back there every now and then. But, yeah, it's a lot of them. It's all they do all day.
That's so awesome.
It's hard to concentrate on gaming when you're beating AJ Styles.
That's true.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, I couldn't beat him in a video game, though. That's where he beat me 75% of the time, opposed to me beating him 75% of the time.
Sounds good.
Oh, man.
So I appreciate, your time. I was very worried about this interview, but after meeting, a legend and somebody like you, I realized any man with 2 hands has a chance of doing a really good interview.
That's right. You can do whatever you put your mind to, man. And life's a gift and a trick. It's not hard. It's not easy to figure out. It's just I say it's a gift and a trick because when you get a gift, you don't know what's inside, and then when somebody tricks you, you don't know how to really figure out how they did it. So it's a gift and a trick.
Awesome. Well, on that note, I think that just about does it for this interview. Again, thank you so much, man. It has been extremely awesome and informative. You're a real treat. So we'd love to have you back sometime in the future.
Appreciate it.
So for the Adventurers Guild, I'm Steve.
Still Jesse.
And we will see you guys next time.